Markets caught fire this second half of the day, but so did bonds. I'm Darren, and this is 3 things you need to know for Friday, January 19th. In yet another we will just take care of it later move, Congress has sent a new stopgap measure for President Biden to sign. There are actually 2 government shutdown deadlines to be delayed. The extension moves those to March 1st and 8th. I think those kicking boots are going to wear out at the toe. Last month, a Japanese company acquired Pittsburgh's U.S. Steel. Now a Japanese company, Sekisui House, is buying a home builder, MDC Holdings, parent of, ironically, Richmond American Homes, for just under $5 billion. Headquartered out of Denver, it is in 14 states. This will make it the U.S. 5th largest home builder. Morgan Stanley is involved. Google has announced layoffs the last 2 weeks. They are focusing on AI, and in a stroke of irony, some of those laid off were actually working on Google Assistant, one of Google's first AI tools. Ouch. Trade while you're sleeping across time zones with Arbitrage Trade Assist. Sign up today at arbitragetrade.com. Arbitrage Trade is your trusted source for business, finance, and tech info.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Bitcoin ETFs. It finally happened. Daniel writes, after 15 years since its inception, the moment we've all been waiting for has arrived. You can now purchase Bitcoin through ETFs. Why is this momentous? It definitely answers the questions, is Bitcoin a real asset class, and is Bitcoin here to stay? The answer is a resounding yes. Bitcoin has achieved mass adoption in half the time it took for the internet's first widely used browser, Mosaic, to reach a similar level of critical mass. However, for Bitcoin maximalists, there's still a long road ahead. The approval of Bitcoin ETFs is a significant milestone for several reasons, but it's just the first step towards the mass adoption that early Bitcoin adopters have been hoping for. Back in 2018, Bitcoin became a hot topic among major financial players. It was impossible to watch CNBC without hearing about Bitcoin, often associated with illicit activities. Throughout its fluctuations, investors were uncertain about Bitcoin's legitimacy and how to invest in it. The introduction of a Bitcoin ETF has made it easy to purchase as using your regular brokerage account. Before investors dive into Bitcoin, salespeople need to be educated about what it is, how to sell it, and why it's necessary. Due to previous limitations in purchasing options, many financial advisors tended to ignore Bitcoin. However, those who have spent years learning about it will now have a significant first-mover advantage. The next few years will see an increase in training for this new asset class, eventually making it a staple in everyone's portfolio. After hearing the sales pitch, many investors might initially hesitate to buy. They will continue to monitor the price, read analysis, and gauge opinions from peers. There will come a moment of urgent buying, driven by fear of missing out, leading them to contact their brokers to invest. This is when we'll witness the true adoption of Bitcoin through ETFs and for early adopters. The journey doesn't end here. Following this, we'll see the approval of other cryptocurrency ETFs, the introduction of crypto derivatives, and lending products backed by this new asset class, further cementing its legitimacy and significance. Initially, the approval of Bitcoin's ETFs seemed like a classic buy the rumor, sell the news scenario. However, as Bitcoin nears a halving cycle and emerges from one of its notorious winters, its leaves may be wondering, are we on the brink of another ride to the moon? You can catch my entire interview with Daniel during the Weekend News Podcast, releasing every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Stop watching and start living using Pips, our AI bot. Go to arbitragetrade.com and check out Arbitrage Trade Assist. And remember, we are not financial advisors.
There are a lot of words I would use to describe my daughter. Kind, strong, hilarious. When I think about how much she's experienced in her life, we can't help but be inspired by her every day. So really, we are the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
The Pick of the Day! And it's Fall Down Friday. Arbitrage algorithms have detected a possible downtrend in the future for Quanta Services, which is PWR. They provide comprehensive infrastructure solutions to the electric power, oil and gas, and communication industries. It's headquartered in Houston, Texas. It closed Thursday at $201.91, 52-week high of $219.17, and a 52-week low of $143.22. Remember, we are not financial advisors. Please do your own research.
Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC is a privately held research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the contents of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to function as investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC, please visit arbitragetrade.com.